There are those who believe that life here began out there, far across the universe, with tribes of humans who may have been the forefathers of the Egyptians, or the Toltecs, or the Mayans, that they may have been the architects of the Great Pyramids, or the lost civilizations of Lemuria, or Atlantis. Some believe that there may yet be brothers of man who even now fight to survive somewhere beyond the heavens. Or something like that.
Nice.
Thank you. Here we all are. Here we not quite all are.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, are you still having troubles, Greg?
I'm having some troubles, but I'll try to get muddle through here. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Tonight we are discussing the Battlestar Galactica episode Fire in Space. Roger is not with us this evening. However, I have Michael. We are joined with guest appearance by Kim and Dama.
Greetings.
So, memory served that this was a bad episode, but in rewatching it, I found it to be pretty well written and entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing I can say about it is it's kind of that formulaic 70s disaster movie sort of thing, like the Towering Inferno, which got a lot of stock footage thrown into it from that.
Gee, no wonder it looked a lot like that movie.
They pulled in a lot of stuff when save money.
Some of those scenes, as I was watching it earlier today, I was going, I've seen that somewhere before. It didn't dawn on me. So that was some of that, the scaffolding shots was Towering Inferno shots.
If Universal owned it, they were gonna cannibalize it.
Okay, well that just made me figure out why it looked familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, well, darn.
Yeah, they did that a lot with Battlestar with certain things.
Spend some money on this one though, because I mean there were several scenes with disco-y firefighter uniforms going at the fire. So whether they were composited over some other scenes or
they could have done some rear projections.
Yeah, but they were, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
what they were able to pull off and hang out there.
Yeah. I like the use of Boomer and Athena sort of having their own I mean, they were kind of the emotional focus of the story.
Yeah, they were the spotlight for most of the episode. We didn't get that very often, especially Athena. Athena didn't have much, so it was good. It was good getting her a little meatier role there. I thought.
Well, and Muffy got to be a hero too, so that's cool.
Yes, true. This is Muffet's episode.
Yeah, it was.
That I did remember. I did remember the Daggett going through the ductwork there after the mushies.
After the mushies.
I had forgotten that he had seen that firefighter and then went back for him. I'd forgotten about that. So that was kind of cool seeing that he saw the firefighter in trouble and then he went back and rescued him. So
yeah, that was
these were good adventure shows. I mean, that was the dog saving the firefighter. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
They were so good. Seeing it of course the graphics, I remember when this was on, it was just whoa, mind blowing. And now it's now I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, that was bad. But it wasn't bad at the time. And the stories still, I mean, the stories hold up. The battles, I mean, it's like Firefly. I'm just sick Battlestar got one season, and didn't. I realized it was too expensive to keep doing it, but it was a good, solid, action adventure sci-fi flick that I think would have endured for a while had they had the finances to continue to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been anybody suggest, they've gone back and digitized, gone through Star Trek and cleaned it up, and redid it. Has anybody ever talked about doing that with Battlestar? The original Battlestar?
I haven't heard, but I mean, Adama would know more. He seems to know all the inside scoop about some things, but maybe they don't think it's financially worth it because it doesn't have the reach Star Trek does. I'm not sure.
Well, but yeah.
I mean, I've seen
fan
fan made.
awesome.
I've seen fan made things out there. Like there's a video been out there for several years called the Living Legend Project, where they basically did new CGI effects for that whole Kane and the Cylon tankers sequence, and that looks pretty good. I think it was done as a proof of concept to try to get Universal to fund something, but I guess there was just no interest on their part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a 4K remaster coming out, but I don't know if they're doing things like cleaning up the mat lines and the wires in this
the wires, their suspension wires, and some of the. I don't know why I keep going orange, but
those wires on the spacesuit were obvious in 1978, and they're definitely obvious now.
Yeah, if you had like a 30 plus, Magnavox color television, you were seeing those.
I remember having I remember in 1980 when they put the telemovies, the telemovie cuts on TV. We just gotten our first VCR, and I think it was recording in like the slow speed, and the telemovie had Fire in Space and Magnificent Warriors together. But yeah, even on that slow speed on a 70s TV, and that low resolution, those wires were really obvious.
Yeah, they were.
But one of the things I got to give them credit for that whole sequence is the mock-up of the exterior of the ship and the either they used mats or rear projection behind them for like the for like the hull. I mean, I remember thinking that was so cool as a kid.
Yeah.
And still actually think that's pretty neat that they were able to pull that off.
It seems like some things they tried to do a little bit more, and then other things they just, there's wires. Oh well, let's not worry about it. No one will notice.
Yeah.
Everyone will be looking at how their sleeves are just open to space, like their cuffs, or there's this skin showing between their sleeves and their gloves.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, the doors that were supposed to, keep the rec center airtight,
with the smoke coming through. In.
Yeah.
So how airtight was that?
Clearly not very.
Maybe the threshold was melting. The weather stripping was melting.
Yes, the rubber seal.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we could retcon the wires by they were actually hanging from Sheba's ship.
Except they had the dialogue like, we don't have any tether lines. The tether lines, why don't we use tether lines? Oh, they just slow us down. So they're not tethered to, I guess the real reason they didn't have tether lines is because they'd have had to use more wires to make those things float.
Oh, that's probably true.
tangled up in the wires that were making them float.
Yes.
Well, saying that, at the end when the shuttle has to go out and rescue rescue Starbuck and Apollo, a shuttle could have gone out and just, maybe that would have worked better to get them to the surface that way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that could have been an option, but
Yeah.
but it wouldn't have been as gosh darn exciting with
That's right.
with wires showing, which made it cool and funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an interesting character dynamic that we have for the first time there, because we have instead of the big three, Apollo, Starbuck, and Boomer, it's now Apollo, Starbuck, and Sheba, and that won't be the last time that we get those three doing stuff together.
Right.
We've got Harry, Ron, and Hermione now, or
Yep.
Luke, Leia, and Han.
Yep.
Yeah, she was definitely a great addition to the show. I'm glad they kept her after Living Legend.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So we have Baltar making a check-in.
Yeah, she's making a check-in.
So I'm sorry he can't be with us tonight, but thank you for popping by.
Yes,
and hope all is going well with you. And our thoughts are with you if it's not.
Yeah, they yeah, I agree with Kim. Why didn't they use the shuttle? But it wouldn't have been exciting. So,
or why didn't they have mag boots?
Yeah,
there were mag.
They have magnetic charges, so why didn't they have magnetic boots?
Yeah, good call.
That was actually that was my wife's call last night.
Yeah,
oh, she said that.
Yes.
Mm. Well, that is true. That is true. I guess maybe that wasn't in the costume budget.
No, but Boxy got a new outfit. He had a smart looking blue outfit on in this episode.
Yeah. And that game he was playing with Athena, Compartment Billiards, which is like a really long version of air hockey or something.
It looked like they made like a mini shuffleboard on the same concept as air hockey.
Yeah.
It was something in between.
Yeah, and after the explosion, I seem to remember it was still standing up just fine.
Yes. I loved how everything looked futuristic, except the stuff that wasn't.
Right.
The office phone for the communicator hanging on the wall.
Yeah, the stentaphone. The thing they actually used on movie sets to call people.
So they did a pretty good job, and they had contemporary face masks.
Mm.
Yeah, but there wasn't much to them. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's like they were talking about it had oxygen, and it was like, where?
Those two little O2 cartridges hanging off the mask.
Oh, I didn't even see those. That shows how bad I was. I just thought it was just a mask, and it was like.
And I think that's exactly what they were, is O2 cartridges. I think it's what you'd go buy at a hardware store.
Mm-hmm. We got some interesting backstory about Boomer, that he was like hot wiring hovermobiles back in the colonies.
Yeah, shame on him. Naughty
it
child.
Explains a lot. Yeah.
I'm surprised he was able to get in the service with that record. Maybe he never got caught.
Well, that is what he said. His record. He said my record won't show it, but back on Caprica.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of I love looking at the set stuff, and I got a kick out of the the tubing with the light bulb inside, to look like a futuristic wire connection. And actually, now we've got fiber optic, so I mean it probably wasn't that far fetched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much like that.
See, and I didn't even think of that because I'm used to fiber optics now. But probably I'd have thought about that 40 years ago.
Well, it looked like medical tubing that they had like a
Yeah.
little light bulb at the end of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they knew what was going to happen.
I'm always enjoying when I can figure out what they made something out of. Doesn't suspend, it doesn't ruin it for me because I mean the art department does, as I've said before, is often a bigger hero in sci-fi to me than some of the characters.
Yeah.
And how different things pop up in different shows that are the same thing, just recycled.
Oh, especially with Glenn Larson. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So we see a lot of the same tech from Battlestar Galactica in his follow-up show, Buck Rogers.
Yep.
The stick and the Viper is the same stick.
It's the same stick, yeah.
Mhm.
Starfighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a few little things. I always thought that was the first thing I noticed when I looked at Buck Rogers. It was like, that's the stick from the Vipers.
Mhm.
He stole it. How dare he?
All the best geeky shows start with the Universal logo. And films.
Yeah, and still nowadays.
Oh, that making stuff out of things, that reminds me when did you notice when Adama was, I guess it was after his surgery, when he was recovering, he had a layer of bubble wrap on his chest.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That wouldn't be the only time they used bubble wrap in that show.
Although I was a little worried about the surgical masks that looked like they might have been repurposed underwear.
Yeah, and the metal tubes, going in, like that looks like it would hurt.
Yes.
Oh, and we got that scene with Jeff McKay, his second appearance in the show.
Yep.
As Corporal Coma, but this time he was a firefighter.
Yep.
And yeah, and you know how once you notice things, you can never like unnotice them. But what I always notice when Jeff McKay is talking to Cassiopeia, he like looks at her chest like 5 times, like in a very obvious manner. Once you notice it, it's like, because I counted. Okay, he did it once. Wow. He did it twice. He like even does it as they're like helping him out of the room. He's like looks back. You can see where he's looking. It's like, come on, Jeff, calm down.
Wow. Well, I mean, last time he was a character, I mean, he was all excited to see the female pilot.
That's right. That's right. He's consistent.
Yes.
And does anyone remember him in Dr. Shrinker?
I don't remember. I don't know what that is.
No.
It was
even ring a bell.
Oh, it was one of the features on the Croft Super Show back in like 76.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 teenagers, and there was like the good-looking boy and the good-looking girl, and he was sort of the third wheel.
I never saw that.
I sort of remember the Croft Super Show, but I don't remember the details of it. I'll have to, yeah.
Yeah. Jay Robinson was Dr. Shrinker, and Billy Barty was his assistant, Hugo.
That might have been one my parents didn't let me watch because it was weird.
Hey, I was busy watching HR Puffin stuff, so it's about weird.
That one, I expressly remember my mother not wanting me to watch.
Oh, man. HR Puffin was some good acid when they were making that.
Apparently, it must have been obvious to my parents.
Yeah.
What all the references were.
Oh, yeah. There was some stonage going on there.
Mm. Now, did everyone notice that our lovely little actor that always said when to launch the Vipers was not in this episode?
I did notice
Oh, the
that.
little gal that usually did.
Yeah.
Oh, she wasn't. That's
No,
right.
because
didn't notice that.
Omega did it instead. I went,
Yep.
Mm.
wow.
And I also noticed Omega and Ty had a good scene together.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, Omega
Now
got
that you
some
say
good
it, that's
lines.
right.
Did anyone notice that? I noticed this as a kid. They have that schematic of the ship, and Omega's talking about beta section and gamma section, and he's pointing at it. And then in this other scene, the head fire guy, fire leader, I think they call him, he's pointing at the schematic. He says beta section. He's pointing somewhere else entirely, and they can't make up their mind on where the sections are.
I was just impressed they had a schematic of the ship.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Because it was about around the same time that the blueprints for the Enterprise were available in the bookstore.
Mm.
Yep. They were cool.
But what do you
There
do?
was something else that I wanted to remember. I apologize. I did not do notes.
Mm.
I actually
Yeah.
sat and watched it. Oh, that the masks melted and the first aid supplies were destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a little. I mean, I know it was a plot device, but I was a little concerned that they would store their first aid supplies and life masks someplace so vulnerable.
But they said they were really deep in the ship. They said they were too deep to take a. So it wasn't like shouldn't
True.
have been vulnerable under normal conditions.
No, but they did. They had supposedly vacuum seals on those doors.
Well,
They
they
clearly
weren't working
melted.
very well.
No.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at that smoke thinking, I remember stories of people getting sick when they used the smoke machines on sets.
Really.
Mm.
What I mean, it wasn't just like water vapor mist. It was. Did they make like actual smoke back then with something? I mean, was it like carcinogenic or something?
There might not have been people because I showed the close up of the door, so there might not have been people with it. But that looked more like smoke.
Yeah.
It looked thicker than that. The old, the fog machines that we used to use.
Right. Fog
Yeah.
machine.
Drama class, drama
Right.
presentations.
Yeah.
Plays.
And it moved more like smoke. Yeah.
I mean, they did have something on fire in those scenes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also got a kick out of when they did towards the end when they were trying to extinguish the landing bay. They had like the mat of the landing bay that they usually have the landing strip behind. It looked like somebody opened a furnace door and had a film of the furnace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
wife,
they just cut out a
were,
rectangle and
yep.
showed that through it.
We were talking about why the scale of the fire looked wrong. We were trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did look just like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked.
That's really clever.
Yeah. For what they had to work with, it was thinking outside the box for sure.
Yep.
I like when they took the Vipers and replaced the laser generators with a bunch of Boraton.
Yes.
And just like squirted it into the
I'm not even going to say what that looked like. I'm not going there.
No, we'll kick you off if you do. So.
Sometimes by not going there, you go there.
Well,
exactly.
Use that fire suppression foam stuff, so they have for years. So that's what I thought of. That's what it looked like to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just a different name.
Yes. The about that scene, and one of the things I thought was really good was they mentioned how that load would increase the mass, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was clever that they bothered to comment on, that Starbuck might not, be used to that and changing the inertia.
Yeah, the weight situation and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they even did this cool different. They filmed the pilots from a lower angle. You notice it's not the usual front on angle because it's like because the front is sagging or something.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interesting detail. I mean, that really was a cool little detail that they paid attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Yeah,
guess
it would have
if it's
been
science
nice.
fiction, they got to throw a little science in there somewhere.
Yeah, just to help us, us geeks, so we can feel good about things. Just throw a little thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had watched this on DVD, but the Blu-ray said there were deleted scenes for this one. Trey, did you have any comments about any scenes that were deleted?
No, I don't think I've watched the deleted scenes for this one because it was just never one of my favorites that I felt like messing around with.
Oh, okay.
Deleted scenes, so I don't know what's in them.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing. It said there might be deleted scenes, but it was like, where are they? It might have been on the other side of the disc on the DVD. But
no, I have the DVD in, and it doesn't have.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay.
Not with the episode. So, but the Blu-ray thing said it had, but the Blu-ray was downstairs. So.
No, yeah, I wouldn't know what those are. Sometimes the deleted scenes are a bit of a disappointment because they're just alternate takes of the same scenes.
Well, there's that, and very often there's reasons why they got deleted.
Yeah.
It's not always just for runtime.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're pretty bad scenes.
Yeah.
Or they made a change in the plot and they retook it some, and this doesn't work with it. So.
Correct. So just checking in, we are just about the bottom of the hour, and if you are watching us live tonight, please comment in the chat room, tell us where you're from, and any memories you have of this or any other Battlestar Galactica episode, or comments on the episode if you've watched it recently.
I think one of my favorite Colonel Ty moments is, it's very subtle, but when they bring him the tray of mushies to put in the air duct, he's like walking over to do it, and he stops and just has this little look on his face, like this kind of, I can't believe I'm doing this look. It's very subtle.
Well, there was also, I also was watching it, and I'm thinking, I wonder if, like, they told him to be tempted to take one, but he wasn't really. So it was a weird look on his face.
I just interpreted it as him feeling silly about putting a tray of mushies in the air duct, but
yeah, I agree with. Yeah, that was my interpretation of it as well. Yeah.
So I had stepped away. I had forgotten to pause. Now, did they discuss on the bridge that Boxy had trained Muffet to sniff out mushies?
I think they did.
I think
Apollo mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Apollo was looking at the schematic and said, "Hey, these air ducts connect from the bridge to the rejuvenation center," and they were talking about, well, could a small child fit in there? And Apollo saying, Boomer would never send Boxy, but he could send Muffet.
Right.
But I didn't remember any dialogue where the bridge crew knew that Muffet was trained to sniff out.
Oh, Apollo remembers that when he's outside. in spacewalking. He says it over the comm line.
Okay.
He's like, "Of course, mushies." That's it. That's when he does it.
Right.
Okay.
So the rest of them didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was when I stepped away. Yeah, because it was before they were bringing the tray in to put down in front of the vent.
Yeah. But it also could be Colonel Ty might have not believed that would have worked, and he was like, "Why am I doing this? This is stupid."
Yeah.
Who knows? Could have been several things. So.
And Apollo and Starbuck had a moment. When
They
Apollo
have to have a moment. It's like the McCoy and Spock thing.
Yep.
They always have to have a little humorous moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And brother by another mother moment too.
Yes.
They're the twins.
Long before the bromance idea was formed.
Yeah, that might have been one of the first bromances, now that I think about it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just trying to mental check. I'm looking where I usually have my notes up next to
nothing's there.
There's nothing there. I don't even have the DVD up to pause and fast forward because my performance was horrible.
I was just thinking when Boomer sends Muffet when he writes the note and puts it on Muffet, he puts it in a cigar case, or
yes,
he calls it a fumarillo case, which is not the way they usually pronounce that word. But anyway, I didn't know that Boomer smoked those things.
He smoked with Starbucks sometimes.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I know they were sharing cigars on more than one occasion. It's it's been so long, but I'm pretty sure Boomer. I remember that.
Okay. Yeah, it's not coming to mind for me.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I was also trying to remember if they took it off of the Daggett, because Ty replaced it, but I don't remember him taking the message off the Daggett. Or he wouldn't have known to look there to get the message.
That's what I was wondering. How would he know to look for a message? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember them saying anything like look for a message, or how would they? Because they couldn't communicate with them.
No, but I mean, I would have done the same thing, but with a dog or something.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But
I mean, somebody must have noticed. Hey, why does he have a cigar case attached to his neck?
Yeah, but they certainly didn't address it that I remembered at all.
No.
Didn't say.
Just went right for it and found the note.
Yeah, which was an important note. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Send life mask. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So any other thoughts about this? I'm running low on comments.
I'm running low too.
We're not getting anyone in chat, so
kind of a straightforward episode. There's nothing real. I mean, it wasn't a terrible episode, but there's not enough meat. It's pretty cut and dried what it was, and there's not a whole lot to dissect with it, I don't think.
No, there's not. Unlike next week, there'll probably be, not next week. It'll be in 2 weeks that we will do
2 weeks
the
from
next.
tonight. Yep.
2 weeks from tonight, we do the next episodes. The two-parter.
Yep. So that'll be
the War of the Gods, part 1 and 2.
Yep. That'll be March 7th.
March 7th, yes. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you're in any other time zone, please figure it out, because I've been doing time zones all week, and I want a break.
Any announcements for us, Michael, before?
Let's see. We just had if you missed it, we had a podcast early. We've had 2 podcasts earlier today. We've had Travel Itch Radio. So if you want to go back and look at that was on a couple hours ago. We also had a podcast with one of the contestants from season 24 of The Voice. It was really nice. She's really good. Even Roger was in the chat room, and he had a good time. She ended up being a Twilight Zone original fan.
Awesome.
And Roger was getting all excited. I said, okay, Roger, so are we going to do a Twilight Zone rewatch and invite her to come?
Oh my God.
And I went, and I don't know why I said that. I said, Michael, no. Got enough to do. But I mean, that was good. And we have a couple of other things coming up. Trying to get back to where I was. We have, as I said before, we have from the ARC, Dominic Chichak, Harris Becker. He'll be back on with us March 3rd, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Time. We're going to finish our conversation that we had to cut short with him 6 months ago. So he's been busy since he was on before. So I'm so glad he's back. And we've got a couple of singer-songwriters coming up. Joshua Cooey is going to be actually a week from tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have another that I haven't finished scheduling yet because he wanted to do it when another one of our shows was on, so I've got to figure out another time. His name is Will Geary. He's from Chicago. Singer-songwriter, a dancer, and a gymnast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of like a whole bunch of little things. So
one-man show.
Yeah, pretty much. So those are the ones that are definite. I have another singer-songwriter that I haven't gotten his bio yet, so he's on the webpage if you want to look him up, but I don't want to announce him on air because I haven't gotten the bio yet. So. But that's about it. And I would really like to thank Trekkie Kim for joining the network.
Yes.
Hey, thank you. It's good to join you.
Yeah, she'll be joining us for some other things that are hush-hush right now.
So,
exactly. Yes.
So hush-hush, even I don't know about them.
That's correct.
It's that hush-hush.
Yeah, we like hush-hush things every once in a while. So.
Well, on that note, Adama, would you like to take us out? Oh,
fleeing from the Cylon tyranny, the last Battlestar, Galactica, leads a ragtag fugitive fleet on a lonely quest. A shining planet known as Earth.